As part of changing the narrative that hitherto existed among the female officers and soldiers, the Corps provides an avenue for the women to see themselves as an integral part of the security architecture of the country.
The narrative is changing. The narrative hitherto was that women should be playing second fiddle. They should also only be in the logistics. They should only be in the logistic part of the battle. But we have now said things have changed, especially the asymmetric nature of warfare we are fighting today. All armies all over the world are now looking inward to invest in their women folk, in training them well, because there are specific roles that women are better positioned to perform. And that's why the Nigerian Army is joining in line with best practice to reposition our female officers and soldiers so that they know that they are stakeholders in this army. And then roles that hitherto have been for men, they can also play, especially those that have the potential, those that have the talent, the skills, those that are young, energetic. They can play their role, and for us to achieve the aim, especially of our amiable Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai, that is vision, to reprofessionalize the army.
In keeping to the charge given to the Corps by the Chief of Army Staff, the Corps headquarters and the battalion leadership have made regular training as bedrock of their activities.
For any army to improve, there's this slogan that says you must sweat more in peacetime, so that in battle time you bleed less. That's why, and in the army, as well in the infantry, we believe in rehearsals and retraining, so that everybody, even the last man in the section, understands the role he's supposed to play. Because if he doesn't get his role very well, then it's going to cause problem for the whole section, the whole platoon, the company, the battalion, and of course, maybe the brigade, the division, and then the army. So that's what we witnessed. And then you saw when from the assembly area to eventually how the men will prepare themselves, personal camouflage and all the rest. And eventually when they started the section battle drills, they started with a single file, and then they changed over to the arrowhead formation. And of course, when battle was joined, they engaged the enemy. And at the end of it, you saw where the section commander was telling the platoon commander, like in form of a situation report, what has happened, how many killed in action, how many captured, and the equipments, which was also very good, because we want our soldiers to have that. Like I said, training, you cannot run away from training. Retraining, training, because the bottom line is, at the end of the day, when the chips are down, it is how much training is in you that you can deliver. And of course, you will not be wasting taxpayers' money. This particular set of women you are seeing behind me, they are young, they are agile, they are energetic, and they are ready. They are not emotionally distracted, and they are ready to give, because I've seen talents amongst them, and they've told me, even from the stripping assembly blindfold, we have seen it. They are ready to contribute. In fact, they are waiting for action. And I need to mention again that they were also for Operation Safe Conduct, general elections, and all the cities they were, all the places, the accolades we are getting is, your women did very well, your women did very well. In fact, I will mention that in particular 2 cities, women came out and said, this is the first time they have seen the concentration of women in this large number. And like I said, very soon you'll see most of them, they're also soft-skinned vehicle drivers. There are also armored personnel carrier drivers amongst them. So it is no longer business as usual. The narrative is changing, even amongst us, and then generally of the security services we have in Nigeria, and then even outsiders are beginning to see that, yes, the establishment of this Nigerian Women Corps has come to stay. And of course, our amiable Chief of Army Staff is in his wisdom and his magnanimity for creativity, ingenuity, felt that yes, and he stamped his feet that the Women Corps must come. And he gave us an establishment order. And today, it's 1 year. Where are we today? We are better positioned, repositioning the women folks, officers and soldiers, to play their role as far as soldiering for Nigerian Army is concerned.
Not satisfied with in-house trainings, officers and soldiers of the Corps are regularly taking part in several local and international trainings. A showcase of some of the duties of the Corps was on display at the last Nigerian Army Day celebration, NASTEL 2018, in Borno State, during which the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, visited the stand of the Corps to be acquainted with their responsibilities. Since then, the Women Battalion also participated fully at the 58th Independence Anniversary of Nigeria, where they performed excellently to the admiration of all.
We had a very good outing in the last Nigerian Army Day celebrations in Mongonu, where we had a stand. And the Nigerian Women Corps stand, it interests all to note again that it became the beehive of activities, because even the Vice President himself, when he got to that, the Women Corps stand, and he had briefing from female soldiers, he was impressed. Because, of course, we know who the Vice President is. The female soldiers were able to prove, telling him exactly what they do. I'm not talking of the motorbikes for display. We had a very good demonstration, or display rather, during the last 58th Nigerian Day celebration, October 1.
With a strategic plan in place to institutionalize the Nigerian Army Women's Corps, the commander explains further.
Some of the women, especially the older officers, did not believe in what we were doing. But the younger ones coming, that's why, like I always say, the flagship of this Women Corps is the 76 regular recruit intake. They've done a year now. And then we now have the 77 regular intake. They left last December. They are already in Jaji doing their posts, depot training right now. And then the female combatant officers of 65th regular course, they are also out. So if there was no corps, then those particular officers will be competing purely with their military counterparts. But now there's a women corps, then it's a wide opening. That's why I said they can now aspire to get to the peak of their chosen career.
In demonstration of their readiness to provide seamless security protection, even better than their male counterparts, the Special Women's Battalion soldiers equally handles VIP protection. Officers and soldiers of the 1st Special Women's Battalion, when not in operation, are frequently receiving both physical and mental trainings to keep them in tone and ready for action. The commander, Special Women's Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Susan Dibal, with vast experience in personal management, is daily instilling the Nigerian Army's ethos in the officers and soldiers of the battalion.
How brave can I be if they say today, 30 of us, we must enter Zambisa? Are we willing to do? Yes, sir! It's not a matter of yes, sir. It's a matter of from my mind. Am I willing to be there? You know, that's the only 6 people have that braveness. But we don't know where others only 6 pieces. But as much as we're in this job, it's not all about Zambisa. It's all about how you can save somebody at that gate. You see somebody, how well can you save the person? And because we're wearing this uniform again, it's not that you see a civilian and you think you're better than him. You're not better than him, you're just privileged to do the job.
The flagship of the Nigerian Women Corps is the 1 Women Special Operations Battalion, where I have a Lieutenant Colonel standing by my side, Lieutenant Colonel Susan Dibal, who is the coordinator. In fact, we're using coordinator, but she's also playing the role of the battalion commander, doing the daily coordination of these very beautiful, young, energetic women that you see here. They are ready to contribute their quota in whatever capacity Nigerian Army requests them to do. And she does that role with a group of officers, especially officers, combatant officers that were trained in Nigerian Defense Academy. They are all under her, all with a view to bringing out the best from the women you see behind me.
The initiative of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, seems to have great impact on these young officers and soldiers. Some of them attest to this.
I did Reiki Weapon A1, and it feels very good to know about this weapon in Nigerian Army. And being posted to female corps, it will also help the female corps because they have gunners that can strip and assemble this weapon within 5 seconds, and also every other weapon. And also, it will also help every other female soldier in other units to know that females are outside there that can do better than men, and they can do what men can also do.
This is my first experience driving a military vehicle. It's really fun, and I really enjoy driving the military vehicle.
I feel motivated because it makes me to express who I am in the Nigerian Army. Not earlier than I feel I'm a woman, I will be only deployed maybe in the kitchen or office assistant. But now, this battalion makes me to feel and to express my career as a soldier.
RSA is the father of the unit, but you know I'm the mother of the unit. I'm a custodian of discipline for soldiers to enforce discipline among the soldiers.
In the Northeast, there are places the men cannot enter, or there are some things the men cannot do, like in searching of the women. Like if me I'm there, I can search the women, and I can also fight with them once I have the opportunity of doing such.
And I really appreciate our Chief of Army Staff for creating this corps.
I think it's a privilege, first of all, to be among the pioneers of this women corps, which is a new corps. And it's a good initiative too that the chief brought this up. And when I saw my posting, I was very excited, really excited. It's going to give the women the opportunity to rise to the top.
It's a very good idea for the Chief of Army Staff to establish the Nigerian Army Women Corps. It helps the Nigerian Army for proper administration of their female personnel.
I'm saying a very big thank you to the Chief of Army Staff for allowing me being in this corps. It's really amazing.
Thank you!